Hey everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Wizbit's Random Gaming. Today I'm down at Kilburn. I've come down to this particular branch because I've seen that they've got a gaming stock that I've been after for some time. I hope it's not a cover reprint. Let's see what's inside. Now in the window here you see Rough Trigger on the PlayStation 2. I don't see this game out very often at all, and at a reasonable price when you consider what it goes for on eBay. For me, this game kind of looks like a mix of Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank put together. Now, at £60, maybe I'm going to regret not picking that one up today. It really wasn't what I was here for. But yeah, looking at eBay prices, from what I've seen, that one tends to go for considerably more. Now, in all honesty, there isn't a great deal to write home about in the window today, although I do like this pure red Nintendo Switch. I believe this might be some sort of Mario edition. And you got this, I believe, is it the LeBron James PlayStation 5 controller? I do like that design. It's really nice, eye-catching. Considering some of the other stuff that they've recently released and they've got on pre-order, which I think personally looks a little bit boring. That one for me stood out, a really nice design. So we'll go straight inside and we'll check out what they've got on the Nintendo Switch section. Now I think every copy of CEX is going to have a copy of Fae Farm after the Argos sale that there once was, where you could literally trade 2 copies of that game in and just double your money. They soon clocked on to that one though. Did I participate? Yes, I did. We got Made in the Abyss there. I'm not quite sure about that game. I've never heard of it. Gonna go home and check that one out. At £20 for a Switch game, that sort of price is always enticing. Not sure why FC24 has made its way there. And FC23. Now here's a game I really would like in the collection, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't pay £35 for it. It is available a lot cheaper from what I've seen in shops like Amazon and the Game Collection. And yeah, you can emulate any of those Jurassic Park games. So if I do buy it, which I do plan on doing so eventually, it's going to be at a price that I'm going to be comfortable with. Now straight on over to the PlayStation 5. I've mentioned many times I am buying more PlayStation 5 games as time goes on. The library is expanding, but today there really wasn't much that interested me, although they do seem to have a lot of copies of this newly released Dragon Quest on day one. Okay, maybe not day one, but soon after the release nevertheless. You've got Jack Holmes at the bottom there, you might have seen Master of Puppets. If you like some terrible horror games, I highly recommend you pick that one up. Now this Predator game is one that I want to add to the collection. However, there is a limited edition cardboard sleeve cover, and that is the one that I would like to pick up. So today I won't be picking that one up, despite how much I would like to add it to the collection. Not that particular version, I'm afraid. Got Stray there on the PlayStation 5. I really liked Stray. I thought it was a really good game. Slow pace at times, picked up in pace as and when it was required to. And yeah, I haven't actually finished it, but I did get quite far into it. And it's something I probably do need to revisit in the near future. Now, if you know about your shmups, you'll know about Cotton. That game there for £12 on the PlayStation 4 is an absolute gem. Pick that one up without hesitation if you see it, if you like your shmups. Got a Karate Kid game there at around about £18. It is available cheaper on other systems. It didn't sell too well is the impression that I get. Leisure Suit Larry there, Wet Dreams Dry Twice. No wonder that's a cover reprint. Now this Shadow of War looks quite nice, it's got a nice cardboard sleeve, but upon further closer inspection, it was quite battered. Now here's a game that's held its value, the Street Fighter collection, still at £15. And even at £15, what a fantastic collection of games that is. So let's have a look in the glass cabinets, see what kind of joypads they've got, consoles, and anything retro. Now I'm amazed after all these years, the Joy-Cons, sorry, not the Joy-Cons, the Wiimotes, they still go for some really good money. And if you find those sort of things in and around a boot sale, you'll get great trade value on it, provided CEX take it in, because they are prone to rust. Pikmin there on the GameCube, still holding a really big price at £42. And here's something you don't see often, a Neo Geo Pocket link cable, £55 though. Now that's a lovely piece, I will say, but how many people are going to be playing 2-player on their Neo Geo Pockets in this day and age? Not too many, I would imagine, but a lovely collector's piece nevertheless. Now, a fairly small selection of PlayStation 1 games there. A couple of Game Gear games you would have seen as well. Always nice to see boxed Game Gear stuff. You don't see enough of it, in my opinion. Now, it's really odd. The PlayStation Portal, something I wasn't interested in at all upon its release. I'm starting to have some sort of interest now. But the prices in CEX are so varied. I've seen them from £200, which is really weird because that's the price that you would buy them brand new. I've also seen them at £180. I've seen them at £170, and I've seen them at £160. Now they must have some really odd or very detailed kind of grading system for that particular item. Now there's not much here on the Wii U, as you can see. However, there is a game that I do need on the system that I've picked up before I started filming. You'll see that one at the end. And if you watch the channel on a regular basis, you'll know that I am going for the Wii U full set, hopefully completed in 2025. Now I've come down here today for one game in particular, and here it is, Metal Slug Anthology. And it's not a cover reprint, which is such a relief after travelling over 1 hour on the train today. It's been one of those games that I've planned on buying from CEX for some time, but as soon as I plan to go to that particular branch, it sells out. Then moves over to another branch, then another branch. So I've always had this in my mind that I was thinking it must be a reprint or something like that that's getting sent out and moved on from store to store. I'm really pleased today to say that it isn't a reprint, as you saw there, but I'm going to have to find out whether or not it's got the manual or not once I go up to the counter, because looking upon the box on first inspection, it didn't have one. Now it's really easy to miss games when you're looking in the PlayStation section because of how dull they are, the PlayStation 2 that is. The spines, they really are a bit boring, and you've got to be on point when you're hunting for your PlayStation 2 stuff, because you can get complacent. You can just browse through these really bland spines and go through stuff and think, I don't need any of this. When in reality, there's a good few games there that you wouldn't mind adding to the collection. I know I've played footage back time and time again, and the PlayStation 2 one is the one that always gets me the most. Instant regret. Now that's on me, I should be looking a lot closer, but yeah, I'm blaming the spines nevertheless. Now only 2 GameCube games in stock today. It's getting a lot more difficult to find a big batch of GameCube games. You don't even see that many when you go to independent stores, if I'm totally honest. And it's the same case with the OG Xbox. Not much here today, although I will say there is a couple of great games in here. Second Sight, we've got Evil Dead, Fistful of Boomstick, and we've also got Grab to Buy the Ghoulies, which I've played on the Series X at home, and I will say probably the best way to play it. It runs really well on that particular console, and as it should. Now over to the 360, nothing really here that interested me, if I'm totally honest, and I've got most of the stuff here that I need. Well, however, Bully is there, and I don't know if I've actually got that anymore on the 360, and Catherine as well, which is a fantastic game that I've recently started playing after picking it up around about 6 or 7 weeks ago. But in regards to Bully, probably the best way you can play that game is on the 360 or the Xbox One, and I can't recall if I've actually got that version. I think I do, but I'm not going to buy it today. I'm going to go home and just check my collection out and maybe pick it up down the line. There's Morphix there, still at a high price of £22. And although it might not sound like a ridiculously high price, if you've played the game, you'll probably know that £22 is probably about £18 too expensive. Now you would have seen Ninja Blade there, tucked away nicely in the Xbox 360 selection there. A game that I really enjoyed, and I highly recommend picking it up before it potentially goes back up in price. Same goes for the Watchmen game here. I've been playing that on the PlayStation 3 recently, and once you get past what are initially a rough set of controls, it's a pretty decent beat 'em up. Now there's some really good games on the PlayStation 3 here, most definitely, but a lot, like I say, I've got already, and some I'm not interested in. Always interested in seeing the Ambernet consoles that CEX take in. I'm not sure what kind of variety they take from Ambernet, because they literally release a new handheld every month. Now say what you want about Google Stadia, but their control pad, I've got one of these and I use it on my Fire Stick, is a great control pad. Now just down the road we've got Mega Games, which is 2 or 3 minute walk from the Kilburn CEX. Primarily more so a phone repair shop, and I've been here before, so I thought why not, whilst in the area, let's check it out and see if they've got anything new in here. Now the first thing I will say upon entering the shop, they have quite smartly changed their layout. On the right hand side of the wall when you go in, they used to have all of their games on the wall, and they were so sun faded, it was unbelievable. This time around they've moved everything around and they've stacked their games up. The wall in question is now used for phone accessories. I mean look, this is an example here, a lovely conditioned 2DS, but I've never seen anything as sun faded as that. Now whilst I don't think this is a bad shop, I'm always pleasantly surprised to see places that sell this kind of stock, although I don't want any kind of double shock 4, thank you very much. It's still a real issue, this shop. Nothing is priced up, absolutely not one game, not one console, not one control pad. And as I've mentioned before in my last video, I don't want to have to keep going to the owner or the staff to say, how much is this? How much is that? Especially when they're dealing with other people at the counter who are here primarily to fix their phones or their laptops. As you can imagine, a shop like that does get quite busy, and the conversations, shall we say, they do tend to drag on when you're trying to get someone to fix your laptop. You don't want to be going up to the person constantly and asking how much is this PlayStation 2 game? How much is this Switch game? Just put your prices on it, please. I guarantee you, I probably would have purchased something from this shop today if I'd have known what the prices were beforehand. Therefore, this was my second visit to this particular shop, and despite having some really good stock, I'll be honest, I didn't pick anything up because I just didn't want to have to go up to someone and keep asking what the prices were. Now, I don't understand the logic behind it. Maybe it's because they want to price things compared to what CEX are currently selling it, and maybe they check at the counter or check when you ask, but that's on them. I don't like that philosophy, and for that reason I'm probably not going to be buying anything from them if I come back down here in the future. But despite that criticism, I will say there is a great variety of games in here. As you can see, a lot of PlayStation 4 stuff, lots of PlayStation 5 stuff now, as also the Xbox stuff as well. They've got a lot of, probably too much in all honesty, of the Xbox. Definitely shops and vendors are definitely struggling to sell Xbox physical releases. Now again, look, there's just no prices on here. I really like the look of this Switch control pad here. I've got something similar at home, and I love using it on a daily basis, but I'm not going to even inquire if you haven't got a price. So yeah, here's today's pickups. As I said, I picked up a Wii U game. Not the most interesting game, but when you go for the full set, beggars can't be choosers. And if you see something you need, you've got to pick it up. So around about £3 or £4, I was quite happy to add this one to the collection. I'm getting slowly closer to the 100 games mark on the Wii U. And yeah, that challenge is going to only get a lot tougher as we move forward. So I was quite surprised to find this game in there as well today on the PlayStation 2, Jet Li's Rise of Honor. Don't see this one out too often, and I've personally never played this game, and I've seen plenty of videos, and it looks like a pretty good PlayStation 2 beat 'em up. So really happy to find this, good condition, and at £12 I was never going to leave this one behind. Looking forward to playing this one ASAP. And here you go, the coup de grace, as they say, the Metal Slug anthology on the Wii. Now, as I've mentioned, this one has been a bit of a problem for me to pick up, and I was really pleased to find out they actually had the manual on this one. So at £18, this was coming home. Absolutely no way was I leaving this one behind today. This was a game I actually travelled all the way down to Kilburn for, so I'm ecstatic to have it in the collection finally. Now, I'm just hoping that it controls well, because I have heard mixed reviews about how it works on the Wii. Now, I'm hoping, well, I'm pretty certain, it's not motion controls. Could you imagine a motion controlled Metal Slug? Yeah, I think I'd do myself an injury. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That was the Kilburn branch in March 2025. Let me know what you guys think of that particular shop. Did you guys see anything that you think I should have been picking up today? And what did you think of Mega Games, which is just down the road, 3 or 4 minute walk? Like I say, it's always nice. I'm not going to moan about any other video game shop, but please price your stock. I personally think you'll get a lot more custom. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.